Ukraine's president says he is looking for peace without delay as US President Joe Biden is forced into another denial that he has called for regime change in Moscow. Today, more Ukrainians buried their own as their leader pledged never to join NATO, but also that he won't sign a peace deal until Russia withdraws its forces. Our Europe correspondent John Paul Gonzo is on the Poland-Ukraine border and he filed this report.
In a crowded church in Lviv, tears and the heaviest of hearts. Ukrainian soldiers watch on as their brothers are mourned. They were killed defending the freedoms their children will hopefully regain. I have been preparing for such a loss, the son of one fallen soldier said, but it is always unexpected. To stop more carnage, Ukraine's president now appears willing to compromise for a peace deal, adopting neutral status by not joining NATO. It was the main point for the Russian Federation, he said. This is why they started the war. While he's prepared to discuss a deal with Moscow, it must go to a referendum and be guaranteed by a third party. Western Ukraine remains on edge after Russian rockets rained down on Lviv, sparking an intense inferno at a fuel depot. For some families, like Ludmila's, the attack was the final straw, forcing them to flee across the border.
Bomb alarms for a day, and they are scared. Children are scared, and that's why we decide to leave.
An ordeal that is sadly all too familiar. Irina arrived with her twin daughters and mother from Mykolaiv, a city under constant bombardment.
Every time bombed, every time attacked, every time shooting. It's so scary, dangerous.
Thankfully here, there is plenty of that. A warm meal welcoming them to a new life. More than 2.3 million refugees have now arrived in Poland from Ukraine. Around 30,000 people a day pass through these checkpoints all along the border.
I want peace. I want safety. I want son. I want easy grown up my children.
These comments won't help negotiations for a peace deal.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Joe Biden's final words on his Poland trip have divided European leaders. The French president criticised the speech. I wouldn't use those terms, Emmanuel Macron said. We should not escalate things with words nor actions.
As you know, and as you've heard us say repeatedly, we do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia or anywhere else for that matter.
The White House now in serious damage control. John Paul Gonzo for 10 News First, Rzeszów, Poland.
And John Paul is live for us from the Ukraine border. JP, there is another round of peace talks on the way.
Hugh, the next stage of discussions are due to begin today in Turkey. Ukraine's president says his priorities remain territorial integrity and sovereignty, but he is now open to this idea of neutrality. President Zelensky says Russia must withdraw its troops, though, and provide security guarantees to Kyiv. These discussions are always incredibly tense. They have been described as confrontational in the past, but with Ukraine now appearing ready to compromise, there may be some sort of progress towards a peace deal. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has spoken for the first time since he made those comments about Putin in Poland. He has again clarified that he was not advocating for regime change in Russia. Hugh, the damage from that speech, though, is already done.
Indeed. John Paul, thank you.